Okay, now I want to talk about fasting as that's something I've had a little bit of a hard time with. So, yeah, I'll just get straight into it. So, there's dry fasting and there's normal fasting. The difference between normal fasting and dry fasting is one, for dry fasting, you don't drink no water. You don't drink no water, you do no food. That's dry fasting. Fasting is with water but no food. And you can do it for long periods of time. Some people have done a week. Some people have done 3 days. But it's really important to take into consideration your own health before you do a fast. Because God wouldn't want you to just, I don't know, have a health issue while on the fast. Like, you need to know your own limit. You need to know your own limit before you do a fast. And also have some days, like a day of rest between. Okay, this is okay. Best way to explain it is, let's say, for example, you start on Monday, right? Your fast or dry fast. Before that, you would have to eat and drink a lot, right? To make sure that you would not faint, you would not have headaches, you would not have fatigue and be drained in your whole body, or to even start having those pains in your stomach, right? So that's normal, but it's mostly when it comes to how long are you gonna do it consecutively. Fasting day after day after day, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Like, that is dangerous, especially if you're dry fasting, meaning you're having no drink or food for 3 days straight. Now, it's good to have a day in between those days of fasting. Say you start on Monday, you do a dry fast or a normal fast, and then on Tuesday you have a break, a day of rest, where you can eat and drink. That's not breaking the fast because you plan to do it in sections of the week. Though, eating and drinking food while you're on that day of dry fasting or fasting, then that's breaking the fast. But what I'm trying to say is just incorporate some rest, some days of rest where you can eat and drink in those days, like between those two different days of fasting, or both, you know. So you fast on Monday, you'll fast on Wednesday, but on Tuesday is your day of rest, for example. And you may do it 2 days and then our day of rest. It's all about what you think you can do. But when you're dry fasting, be very careful and know your limit. Mine is 2 days. And any more would be too dangerous for me. And then I had a day of rest. And then I do another day of dry fasting, for example. Or 2 days of dry fasting and then a day of rest. It's just what you feel comfortable with. Now, if a prophetic voice, right, a prophet or prophetess, right, tells you fast, and it's very timely fast, well, do listen, but eat and drink a lot before the fast, okay? And I mean a lot. Not like over gluttonous when you're eating, but just when you're full in your stomach. And when you're drinking a lot, when you're to the point where, it's easy to look at things. Or just, the best way to do, the best way to know if you're hydrated is urine, okay? If it's clear, or if it's like a pale yellow. More so clear you're aiming for. But yeah, that's a bit of a gross fact. But yeah. Okay, where was that? Yeah, prophetic voice, right. So yeah. Before, do as they say, fast. But as I say again, you can start one day of fasting, whether it's with water, or dry fasting where there's no food or water. And then do that for another day if you think you're capable of doing that. And if your body wouldn't, I don't know, have any issues with that. Yeah, because we got to care for our body. It is the temple, right? It's the temple of the Holy Spirit. You got to care for it. And do pray while you fast. Do read scriptures while you fast. And pray God will give you the strength to get through it, okay? And then just already know you have the strength to get through it since you prayed it. Yeah. But do include break days, even if it is a very urgent message, right? A very timely fast. You wouldn't want to do it at the detriment of your own health. Because God's not trying to harm you. He wants you to prosper, give you a future and a hope, okay? So, even if they say do, I don't know, for example, a 3-day fast. But you're on the second day of the fasting, right? And it's too much. It's crushing. It is hurting even. That's when you should stop, especially when you feel very weak, so incredibly weak that you just takes every effort just to get up or to walk about. Then you should finish that second day of fasting and then have a break day after that second day of fasting, and then continue that third day of fasting the next day at a time chosen, and then continue that fourth to the other day or something based on the time that you picked. So yeah, it's kind of like stewarding your health in a way during fasting, because no one else will probably do it for you. So you gotta be careful. And if you have got a serious illness or sickness or disease, right, maybe take it every 12 hours and just continue from day to day to day to day until you have completed, I don't know, a whole 2 days of fasting, whatever time it is. How long the duration of your fasting you're doing. But if you're like serious illness, serious sickness, 12 hours at most a day. But those bodies are healthy and strong, capable. 1 day or 2 days. Let that be the limit, and then having a break day. Now more on the 12 hours a day. If you've got serious body issues, like lungs or like kidneys or something in the stomach, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But again, a lot of consideration, a lot of cautious planning requires that. And yeah, because you're denying yourself food and water intake if you try fasting, but just food when you're fasting. So be very careful in those 12 hours. Or even, yeah, I would do it just 12 hours a day if you got serious, serious, serious issues in your body, like cancer or like some other disease that is plaguing your body like a wildfire. 12 hours a day until you complete this, the full 12 hours a day each week if you have to just complete that duration, to add up those 12 hours each day to the full, I don't know, day or 2 days or 3 days of fasting you're trying to do. It's basically just that. That's what I was trying to say. And another thing is eat and drink a lot beforehand, so your body would have the energy to get through that dry fast or fasting. Oh, hey, Pippa. Yeah, I think that's basically it. So, yeah. Bye. Oh, sorry. My video just went stop. Wow. See you later.